My name's David Rem, and for almost a year now I've been working on a short stop motion film called Jasmine. Jasmine is about a young woman in her 20s named Chamomile. Growing up, she had dreams of becoming an actress, but she was always way too shy and got too much stage fright to pursue that dream. And she also was never really good at making friends. She decides to change all that and completely reinvent herself. So she invents this character named Jasmine, who is somebody that everybody likes. She's cool and confident and popular with everyone. But the thing is, she's not the most genuine person. The film sort of follows her saying and doing whatever it takes to be popular, even if it means lying. Her lies sort of start to catch up with her, and she finds it harder and harder to cover her lies. So with this film, I'm completely solo. I'm the scriptwriter, I'm the director, I made all the puppets, I designed the puppets, I made all the clothes for them, I built the set, I'm the animator, I do all the animations, I've done everything. I turned to stop motion out of necessity, I guess. As an independent filmmaker, I'm quite limited with resources. To tell the story that I really wanted to make, I found that animation was the only way in my current capacity that I'd be able to do it. I can do a lot more with animation than I can do with live action, for the same price, I mean, at least. Apart from my childhood productions, I'm actually a complete novice at stop motion. So when you watch this film, you actually see me learn as the film progresses. So I'm actually learning as I go. I am not a professional by any means. So at the start, I was struggling a little bit because I didn't know how much I should move the puppets in each frame. I didn't know what was going to look smooth or not. So that's when I started shooting reference videos. I can describe it as like a manual motion capture. So basically, I'll record myself acting out how I want my puppet to move, and then I make my puppet match with the same position of the reference video and take a photo. I just keep on matching my puppet to the reference video until I'm done. It's definitely improved my animation skills. Alright, this is my studio. I like to call it the Banana Barn Studio, as it used to be an old banana packing shed that my family has renovated into a granny flat. The way I am animating this film is a little bit different to how a lot of stop motion films are done. I animate all my puppets separately, so even if you've got two characters in the same scene, I'll actually animate them separately on a green screen. At the start of production, I was trying to capture everything in camera, but because I'm a complete novice at this sort of stuff, I kept on making mistakes, like I'd bump the curtain in the background slightly, and in the end it sort of messed it up. Before I came up with this little puppet holding device, I was originally using this, and I'd have this over the top of the set here, and I used aluminium wire to connect to these little poles here, and it would come down to the puppet and wrap around and hold them, which it worked alright, but it still wasn't the most stable or sturdy, or didn't give me the greatest control over the puppets. I have the background of the scene, and then I put my puppets in, and basically it gives me lots of control over like camera movements and where the puppets are placed, and that way the background doesn't change either or move around so much.
What's taking her so long?
I made a little short teaser a few months ago. That was kind of actually my practice animation to learn it. And I think I've already come a long way from that little practice teaser trailer. The reason why it's set in a sort of stage play production is actually also out of necessity. I thought, seeing as I'm making this film on my own, it'd be very difficult for me to create all the different sets for a hotel set, an outdoor village set, a house, bedroom set. It would be very difficult for me on my own to do that. So I was thinking, by doing it as a stage play, I actually only have to build one set, and then I can kind of cheat a little bit by just having, you know, like a cardboard cutout of the backgrounds and cardboard cutouts for the props and sets. And in the capacity of a play, it makes sense and it's like acceptable. Plays leave a lot for the mind to imagine, so that's great when I don't have a lot to work with. I guess the only sort of practical thing that I didn't do on the film is the paintings for the backdrop. They were actually done by my grandmother, Marie Jolo. It's a very interesting experience working with my grandmother. Lots of butting heads together. That might have been the time where I most felt like a director. Especially the hotel backdrop. She would do something and then I'd be like, I don't like it. Could you make it red instead of purple? She'd be like, oh, and then, paint it again. And I'd be like, oh, that's good, but I don't really like what this door looks like. She'd be like, oh, and back and forth. But I think it's a really good collaboration, and I think that the works that she managed to produce are absolutely fantastic, and I'm very fortunate and lucky to have such a talented grandmother for free use. The cast of the film, I love it. I got really lucky with the cast of the film. Playing the main character, Chamomile, is my partner, Sierra Russell.
What do cool young people do when they finish high school? Go on a European gap year.
Who may or may not really want to have done the role, but because she's my partner, I forced her to. She had no say in the matter. I just said, okay, I've written this script, you're the main character now. And she's like, what? What? That's just some of the things you have to do when you're my partner. But no, she really is great. She's done a great job. I think we'll both agree her voice actually really matches the character, and even though I forced her to do it, I really couldn't imagine anyone else being Chamomile.
So what better place for my debut as Jasmine than a working holiday at a hotel near the Swiss Italian border?
Gabriel, he's the runaway artist from a rich family in France, and he's played by Mikhail Buzko. So when I wrote the script, I wanted to have all these different nationalities working at the hotel, because when you go on a gap year, other people are going on their gap year too, and you sort of meet different people from different nationalities and different countries, right? I had no idea who I could even get to play a French character. I was worried that I was going to have to try and learn how to do a French accent and probably end up butchering it. But my younger brother, who was 10 at the time, he has a friend whose mother is French, and her niece was visiting from France with her boyfriend, Miguel. So I got in contact with them, and luckily for me, he agreed to do the film, and he's great. It was definitely an interesting experience working with Miguel. He was actually the first voice lines that we ever recorded for the film. I feel pretty bad. I think I made him a bit nervous, which, it's understandable. It would have been pretty daunting for him, seeing as English is not his first language and he's still learning it as well. And I'm like, all right, say all these words in English and make it sound good. So it would have been pretty daunting for him, but I'm very appreciative that he did do it.
Well done. I noticed, mate.
He really helped bring Gabriel to life, which is great. So thank you, Mikhail. Charlotte O'Brien. She plays Kylie from England, who has to spend her winter working with her dreaded stepbrother Joel as a punishment from their parents to make them get along with each other, but they end up just hating each other more. Again, when I wrote the script, I had no one in mind for who would play this British girl. Charlotte started working at the hotel restaurant that Sierra works at. And it's quite a coincidence because she's a girl from England working at a hotel restaurant as part of a working holiday sort of thing, just like Kylie. So it's kind of like a life imitates art situation.
Oh no way. That's crazy. That's me.
Yeah, I know. But again, I was very lucky that I actually got an actual authentic British girl to voice my British girl character. And she's great in the role.
What would you know about getting a girl pregnant, you virgin?
Even if I was looking for professional actors, I really think she's like the perfect pick for Kylie. Like she really matches the personality very, very well. So again, I was very fortunate. The luck just kept on rolling. So I've got the concierge of the hotel who is Italian. And there's a scene where he just speaks Italian, right? And I'm like, oh, I can't speak Italian, so I'm obviously not going to voice it. Who the hell am I going to get to voice this Italian? Why would I even write a script that required someone to speak a completely different language? Like, am I an idiot? Luckily, I have a friend from film school. His girlfriend is Italian, so I contacted her and asked her if there was anybody who could help me out. And she got her dad to do the voice lines. Her dad over in Italy, who doesn't actually speak English at all. So I sent her the lines, she translated them into Italian and sent them over to her father, who recorded them on just his phone and sent them back to me. Again, very lucky with my foreign accent and language characters. And then we got the character Kate from California. She's like this ditzy bimbo, very airhead but very nice character. And that she's played by our friend Elaine Good. And I've been friends with Elaine for a couple of years now. Elaine, although she's not American or from California, she's Australian like myself. She does a very good, I think she said she's doing a Valley Girl accent. I don't know what that means, but it worked. It works really well, and she brings the character of Kate to life.
You don't like Sienna the Squirter? But you said you went to her concert and everything.
Pepper from Australia. She does a lot of nice things. She's sort of this wannabe activist, philanthropist sort of character. But in contrast to that, she's kind of not a very nice person. She's a bit mean. And so she's the one character that Chamomile struggles to get to like her. And so with the introduction of Pepper to the story, that's when things start to go a little wrong for Chamomile. When I made the teaser short for Jasmine, I hadn't properly cast anyone for Pepper yet. So Sierra actually did the voice for Pepper in that short.
This is just typical Jasmine, inconsiderate of anyone else's time except her own.
She said she was doing an impression of her sister, Tanika Santiago. In the final film, I actually casted Tanika to do the voice of Pepper. And so it works well because it brings a layer of chemistry between the two, I guess. That sort of bickering between sisters, I think, really works well. So I think Tanika playing Pepper is perfect for that reason.
Yeah, I know Happy Leaf. They plant a bunch of trees, but I bet you didn't know their clothes are made by borderline slaves in Chinese sweatshops.
Oh, I even get to voice a character. I play Joel, who's Kylie's stepbrother from England. He's just a slob. He's just like a complete gross slob sort of guy. I based him off the obnoxious personalities of the Gallagher brothers from Oasis. I guess Noel Gallagher, maybe. I do a British accent. I tried to base it off the Essex accent, which is where Charlotte's from, so I sort of wanted them to sound like they're from the same place. Hopefully I did a good job, hopefully it's convincing. If not, at least I've only got a few lines in the film and you can forget about me instantly. But yes, I even get to voice a character.
What if I became someone who was cool, confident, and popular? Thus, I present to you this evening, Jasmine.